Good day. Hope everybody out there is having a good one. If it's your first time to the channel, what we usually do around here is we find new music from all around the world, follow people's suggestions rather than algorithms. So if you're looking for new music, this is the place to check out. We have a lot of playlists that reflect a lot of the cool stuff we've been finding. I guarantee you're going to find something you never heard before. We got music from all the different genres, different areas, regions, all sorts of different styles and genres you've probably never even heard of. I guarantee you're going to find something that you never knew existed or you never knew you needed in your life. But today is something a little bit different. It hits a little bit closer to home here. Today we have a fellow musician missing in the state of Maine. Mr. Tyler Lowe. Awesome gentleman. I have a lot of cool times. In fact, my first time meeting him, I have some cool pictures that I'll share with you. But he's been missing since the beginning of the month here, and we need some help here. So we have a channel, a podcast that just did a live podcast with his sister and his father, explaining all of the details. And to get right down to brass tacks, I could just say that the response to this whole matter from the authorities has been less than stellar, to say the least. The fact that they waited the way they did and did things the way they did. They have even admitted as much as to saying that they dropped the ball. And that, as can be seen in many ways and heard in the podcast, which I'll have you all linked up, they get right into the details of the efforts and everything that's been going on. And I could just, I'm really disappointed in, the state of Maine. I grew up there, and I've, known game wardens personally. I've known, the police either through good reasons or bad reasons or whatever. And, some of the excuses that were used for not, there was, the aspect of he was having some mental issues. He left all of his belongings behind, including his phone. But he did bring a firearm with him, which is the excuse that they had for not going into the woods immediately to look for him. Which is very silly, because if they knew that Mr. Lowe here had a deer that he didn't tag or some meat in his freezer that he wasn't supposed to have, they'd be right up in the house with all the firearms, without a warrant, without care in the world, collecting that meat. That is how they roll. That's what they do. There's even shows that show them doing it. So there's no excuse for this kind of, the lack of response is just ridiculous. And it really, I'm half a country away, and I've been, looking up there disappointed by, all sorts of different things, but I didn't think that this would be one of them. I thought, the Maine said they're pretty good at trying to find people. They're pretty good at, the knowledge of the woods and the lay of the land. There's a vast amount of woods up there. And it is, it's not something you can just fly over and look into. The forest is dense and it's full of trails that go on for miles. And, it's just, they waited for rain and everything, and then they responded with dogs that were going to be basically useless, just looking for cadavers at that point, which we have a experienced survivalist here. Now, the last, this is a picture of him with his sister, Logan, who was on the podcast. She really helped fill everybody in with the efforts, well, the lack of effort in finding him. Now, this is the last picture taken of him via trail cam. Now, if anybody has any trail cams out there anywhere, and I mean, if you are miles away, I don't care if you live 10 miles away, people can, I mean, it's been a while. People can gain some foot ground, especially through the woods. You'd be surprised. You can go as the eagle flies. You can carry some area pretty quick. So the troubling thing about this, and I'll have the podcast here, Locating the Lost, which I have to give them props. Have done a lot. They've jumped on this and done a lot more than the local authorities. And I'm not, trying to cause trouble or put anybody on blast, but it's very troubling. And this was one of the things, and this is why this is like such an issue that everybody waited so long, and everybody, because we have simple questions like, do we even know if this was the actual direction that he went? Now, as you can see, there's some straight yardage in front of him. For how long that goes straight, I don't know, but I know that I can see that we would probably be able to see him with a motion activated camera that would take some pictures. It seems like we would have seen the blue of his shirt, at least through the trees, at least one more time. And now right here, we have the Locating the Lost podcast, and they're showing the exact area. This is a tiny area of a vast amount of woods. Now, Damariscotta itself is just vast woods. It's a tiny town. It's woods. It's like a lot of Maine. Woods. And it's vast. It goes on forever, and it's easy to get lost in. This is an experienced survivalist. He knows how to survive in the wild. Although he did not bring any of those materials with him, he also left with a pair of shoes that he didn't like. There's all sorts of things that, when you consider the mental aspect and everything to this, the fact that, everybody sat on their hands for a while. And this is a little snippet of the podcast I wanted to.
Trail where he entered in behind the house there, does that kind of go more... Does that lead south, like towards his house he grew up in, or does it kind of lead more straight out towards the power lines?
It more so leads straight out to the power lines, which are right there behind his house. And then he could have went left down to where we grew up down here, or he could have went right and went towards Waldoboro. Or he could have walked past that camera he could have walked past that camera to make us think he was going that way, double back and go totally somewhere else.
Yeah, what was the timer like on that camera? How often would that take a picture?
That was kind of funny to me. I thought about the same thing. I thought by the time he got, because it was probably a good, 50 yards before he'd be out of sight. I thought that I'm not sure because I didn't open the camera and take the chip out, but I thought that would have taken another picture before he got to the bottom of that hill.
I mean, what's the point of a game?
But that's what I'm wondering too. Is like usually they'll can get a few images of something, and what they're on, like sometimes they're on a delay, right? So it won't take more than one every 30 seconds or minute, or that's what I was wondering. Is
a lot of times they're motion activated, and once they get activated and they see that motion going around. They take a picture every so many seconds. Like I said, you could set it. He could have not set this thing at all, and it could be on factory settings. Which it seems like that's what it is, and who knows what the factory settings are on that. But it does seem very strange that a game camera, of all things, does not catch him going any deeper into the woods than this picture was seeing right here. It seems a little weird. But I'm not, trying to be a conspiracy theorist or anything about it. It's just, there's a lot of things we don't know, and that we should have been more, the state should have been more on top of, the news should have been more on top of. It seemed like nobody wanted to do their job until they were guilted into doing it. And that's maddening and that's ridiculous. And sitting, half a country away watching how the reaction is, just, and this isn't, it isn't just because somebody, you personally know. It's just, this is what they do. This is Maine. This is part of, the life and part of what their jobs are. And the fact that they would just sit on their hands all this time, and not just the authorities that, the ones that wouldn't do their job until they were made to, but the news, the local news. It is your job to let people know, hey, see this person, and then show pictures of him, like this. Say, hey, see this guy? We can't find him. Have you seen him? That's like, it's part of your gig. That's what you do. And the fact that you even waited so long, I don't know why I'm pointing at you like you're watching. You can't even be bothered to do your damn job. So, yeah. I'm, I kind of, I guess, take it a little bit more personal because I know this person. I mean, I'm not going to act like we were the best of friends, hung out, talked on the phone for hours a day and all that. It's just, he was, a part of the musical family up there. Everybody knows everybody in that. It's like your musical clique. If you're in a band, you know what I mean. Everybody kind of knows the other bands, and they all, everybody's a friend, in some way, shape, or form. And we kind of take for granted that, sometimes we're just friends that meet up at events and have fun together, and then we meet up at the next event. And, that's the one good thing I guess I can take away from any of this is, when I was looking for pictures and everything, it brought back awesome memories. And I was like, oh yeah, holy shit. This was the first, you know what I mean? I really, I just can't believe. Now, this right here is the first time that I saw him. I forget whereabouts this was, but it was a pretty big show. I remember the band I was with, I gave away some tickets to the Hard Rock, whatever. But they came out and just put on this like blisteringly brutal set. And I was like, I need to get pictures of this. And so this was literally the first time meeting him. And I can tell you, he's an awesome guy. And I couldn't even believe there's a picture coming up, I think, of me getting a selfie with him mid-performance. They're in the middle of a performance, and here I am like, hey, let's take a selfie. And he's like, hey, why not? And, that just goes, to, the kind of cool guy he was, having fun. And, that aspect of it right there. That's the shot I'm talking about. I'm the guy that just looks like the Invisible Man with a suit on. And that's Tyler being awesome. And again, this was my first time meeting him, and he was just, yeah, he was all about it. And it's just, this is maddening. Look, we and this also goes to show this cool pedal board there. Before pedal boards were all popular. This also is a prime example of if you know somebody or you have a friend or somebody, even if you are just an acquaintance and you know that they are having some troubles, say something to their loved ones, the people that care about them, the people that you know that don't, want to see any harm become of them. Keeping these things to yourself is not helping. We know that the last number that he called on his phone that he left behind was the suicide hotline. So again, we know that he was having some issues in that area, which once again maddening of the fact that we're talking about somebody who clearly is not out to hurt anybody else. He's literally going away from everybody else, and you don't want to go help him. It's like this is the time where he needs to be told that, and you're letting him down. And it's, yeah, need to do better. There's still efforts going along as we speak. I hear they have a plane up there, but as you could see, clearly see by the wooded area, a plane really isn't gonna be that much help up over clear spots, lakes and or otherwise. So, yeah. Thanks, I guess. But yeah, I cannot express enough how just disappointed I am that literal everyday strangers are doing more than the authorities that are supposed to, this is their job. This is what they're supposed to do. It's not just, hitting people for not having their fishing license or their hunting license. It's also about finding the lost, helping people that need help. Why is helping the last thing on your list, it seems? I'm going to wrap this up. All I need to say is we're going to have all the numbers and everything up on screen. We'll also have them in the thumbnail. If you know or have seen, know the whereabouts, heard anybody, I don't care if you're 20, 30 miles away, if you've caught something weird on your game camera, or just seen a flash of a color off into the distance, say something to somebody. You could be the hero of the day. So please help, because it seems like the people that should be are not going to go out of their way any more than they're. They're not even doing damn near what their job description is. So yeah, but this isn't all about blaming or but yeah. The authorities could be doing more, and if anybody can help or knows the whereabouts or has any abilities that could aid in finding Mr. Tyler Lowe, please do contact the numbers on screen. Also, like I said, I'll have you linked up to locating the lost. We'll also have you linked up if you're thinking any bad thoughts. If you know anybody that's thinking some bad thoughts, we're gonna have you hooked up with a number there as well. But if somebody tells you that they're having a hard time, one of the first things you should do as a friend is go tell their immediate loved ones that, hey, you may need a hug, pat on the back, a talking to, just a shoulder to cry on, something. It could be as simple as just listening. And, So please, if you can help in any way, please call the numbers on screen, and we will, like I said, we'll have you all linked up in all the other places, and we'll see you. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.